broadband. We bring you the most reliable internet on the planet, fiber. The question is, why is fiber more reliable than cable? Picture two houses. The cable house has an old foundation, faulty wiring, and uses cheaper materials. It's built to
And good afternoon, and welcome back to By the Dice slash I Cast Wish. Sans Pudgy. Lesai.
Lesai.
Missing you, man.
Right?
So there was no questions that I know of, unless there's somebody who happens to be out there and starts posting them in the chats. It is where I can see it, so that's not a problem. Aside from that, I guess we could pick up on our conversation that we were having before we hit the go button. The one that we kind of just dropped abruptly. About the last week's game session and the nightmare that it is.
Oh my gosh. Man, last week's game was just chef's kiss.
I didn't think you guys were going to go for it.
It matched up with Kalora's motivations.
Yeah. It's amazing what you'll sell your soul to get done.
Yeah.
This just goes to prove even heroes have a price.
Huh? Well, Kalora would have done it for free. Kalora went through a portal with the intention of trying to do it for free.
Yeah, but I'd be a terrible DM if I let you fail at it that obliviously. That would have been like the dragon reaches out. Claw, bite. Screw the breath weapon, it's not even going to waste its time. It ate you. Where's your backup character again? Yeah, that's the other thing that's made me very reluctant to kill off anybody, is if somebody doesn't have a backup character drawn up that is exactly what they want, I'm less inclined to kill your character.
Yep, I've got Naima. She is very ready for Nox Vitalia.
You think?
Well, I've had a year of playing Kalora in this particular world to
Get a feel for it at least, yeah.
She's much more prepared for Nox Vitalia than Kalora.
Yeah, Kalora was not quite prepared for, oh, wait, no, some people are going to have problems with you doing the right thing, even if it is the right thing.
Right.
Fact is, that's what makes it such a real world.
Right?
Even when you do the right thing, somebody's going to bitch.
But no, like, the whole Temple of Tiamat arc was... Kalora was not going until she knew she could swing that axe.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm not going in there until I know I'm good with my weapon.
That's fine. Turns out that y'all made the right decision and helped to a degree.
Yeah, having the Hill Giant strength boon when it comes to facing down what Kalora wants to go chase down would greatly help.
It's still stronger than you.
Yeah.
But at least now it'll feel it if you hit it.
Now, see, I am not averse to having Kalora pull a Scanlan.
Up the dragon's bumhole. Oh. Yeah, but this one's not acid based. Matter of fact, I can't even tell you what kind of dragon it is.
From all given hints from being in its cult's lair area, and from having been around it at one point, I can definitely venture a guess at least primarily ice and cold based.
That would be correct.
So I'm going with what I know from being a good note taker. But that leads to me having to go, okay, am I supposed to be recounting what I know as the note taker player or as my character?
Exactly. As your character, poor Kalora is probably just sitting there going, what the fuck is this thing?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna fight it. It's gonna eat me. But I can't not.
Matter of fact, you all haven't even ever seen its whole body.
Nope. Kalora got a real good look at its front end, though.
Yeah. Boxy head, whiskered face.
Really big?
Yeah.
Really big?
And I will be honest. If you guess close, or if you guess a type or thing of that nature as to what it is, I will tell you yes or no.
Yep.
But I won't let you play 20 questions with it.
No, I'm going with what I've learned from note taking. It's definitely a chromatic.
No.
And you described it as a child of Tiamat. Not Bahamut.
It's not a child of Bahamut either.
But you described this dragon as a child of Tiamat.
That's what people think.
Now I'm curious.
You do realize that not every bit of a cult is ever based in truth, right?
Yeah. But the information that I was given was that this particular dragon was a child of Tiamat's that survived.
That's rumor.
Then that's what Kalora's got to go with.
Yep, and the answer is no. See, the fact is that nobody inside it checked the person who was delivering the information as to how much they actually knew. As a result, no.
There's a lot that I would do with a more intelligent character that I haven't done with Kalora.
Well, insight can be a wisdom type thing. So, you could be doing more. There's always the asking me if you would know something. Trying to overextend your stats versus underplaying them is probably going to be smarter.
I mean, I'm giving Kalora a lot of room to run with mental fortitude. She's not a smart bird. She's got enough wisdom that if she feels some type of way, she's gonna go with her gut feeling because she's wise enough to,
Trust her gut.
yeah. But the combination of her wisdom and her intelligence definitely leaves her wanting in the area of double checking her gut,
Yeah.
which is fine. It gets her punched in the face way more than I think she'd like, but
That's the world she was born into.
yep. I mean, she was born in Kastara. She's been punched in the face enough times. I mean, she's got a whole new beak to prove it.
Yeah, nobody wants to punch her in the face anymore. Because the blacksmith was nice enough to reinforce the damn thing.
Yeah, no. I can't wait to finish the beak piece on her costume, which will be a thing I wear, complete with functional wings.
The wings might have to go if they don't fit on the couch. I mean, we can take photos of that part and post them and shit like that. But as far as the functional wings go,
I'm working on finding a framework that folds up nicely the way the wings would and like actually sits behind.
yeah, but you might crush them sitting on the couch.
Yeah. No, I'd have to be like, I'm gonna sit forward now.
Which means you'll have to sit towards the back.
Yep.
Which sucks because that's going to be cool, but...
Yeah. No. There will be photos in full Calora costume. It's just getting the... Honestly, the hardest part right now is getting the face and beak costuming to fit.
yeah.
But
can
I
see
have
that.
3 gallons of liquid latex. I can build muscle and send you one little strand at a time.
And we did just learn how to make carbon rope.
Mm-hmm. It's quite a lot of fun playing with liquid latex.
I believe it. I have a latex allergy.
But unfortunately, right now, I can't do a whole lot of anything with the top of the beak because I have fresh holes in my face.
Yeah, fortunately, all of my holes, though, I am starting to put my piercings back in and stuff. Fortunately, they're all old.
Yeah.
Turns out my lip ring's still open at a 14 gauge.
Nice. I paid someone to poke a hole in my face, which means no latex on the bridge of my nose for at least 8 weeks.
Probably better with about 4 to 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. At least 8 weeks for wound closure. And 4 to 6 months before it goes directly over the opening.
Yeah, so you're better off just waiting.
Yep. I mean, I do know how to build a prosthetic that would go over and around, but I don't want to.
I wouldn't want to either. That seems like way too much work.
It is. It is. I mean, some of the effects that I can get are really cool, but it is.
Yeah, well, maybe if you were like a crested hornbill or something, then it would make sense so that you could actually put that banana horn out there, but no, you're bald eagle shaped.
Yep, which means her beak comes up to right about here.
Yeah.
So unless I'm giving her a heck of a caveman brow.
Kinda, yeah. You'd need to anyway because of the shape of the head.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
But it'll be pretty when it's done. And if I build it right, I'll be able to put it on and take it off as desired.
I'm also worried about the cat attacking you if you have feathers.
It's a very feathered critter.
Yeah. Which reminds me, one of these days, there might be if Calora irritates me, I am not the DM that will thumb them down into the ground and bury them like pushing a push pin.
Boop.
Yep. But I am the DM that would do something like have a group of have Kalora fall or land in a cart of catnip. And be chased all over town for at least one session by a swarm of cats as I turned Kalora into the world's largest cat toy. By the way, there's a certain point where that many cats just get enough actions that the bird would need to pop the uh-oh button.
No. Kalora's not wanton enough to pop the uh-oh button versus cats.
Dire Tabby.
Kalora would take flight long before she got to that point. Nope, I'm out.
Dire Tabby.
Nope. I think cats, not quite.
There's a scary thought for a creature that I've actually stat blocked. They're a thing.
I love it.
They're the size of a panther, but they're a tabby cat.
Nice.
They also come in a ragdoll Persian. The Siamese are assholes. And let me tell you what, if you piss off a dire tabby, when it pukes in your shoes, you know it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I wear greaves. Yep, they're full.
I guess it's a good thing Kalora's shoes are tie-on leathers. She doesn't actually wear boots.
Yeah, that just means that she'd have to fish them out. Or go buy new sandals.
Oh. This whole time she's been binding her feet with leather strap.
Yeah. Yeah. That's when the dire tabby pees in your pillow. Do you all have a cat? Dwarf dire tabby. It's the size of a Sheltie. Or a pit bull. You know, the small cat breeds that are like permanent kittens.
Uh-huh.
It looks like that, only this big.
Hi, cat. Good kid.
Yeah, just imagine when it wants snuggles.
Please, no. You are the size of a small lion. Please, no.
It's the size of a small lion. You stop it.
We are not getting pet tabbies.
No. But feral dire tabby cats are actually kind of terrifying because they are one of the most voracious hunters in their weight class.
Mm-hmm.
Their weight class happens to be about 255 pounds at that point. Do you know what else is in the weight class of a 255-pound predator? Anything up to 3 times its weight.
Uh-huh.
To include Goliaths, smaller dragons, basilisks, humans, elves, gnomes, dwarves, goblins, Githyanki. Dragonborn are definitely on the menu.
Yep. I do, in terms of last episode, though, just thinking because I saw Wisp's mask over there, I do love how Kalora was immediately like, nope. Nope.
Yeah.
That's a patron thing. Nope.
Yeah. I was actually, it's like, that made it a lot easier. Because then I don't have to explain a bunch of things as to what was going on. Fact is that Pudgy went back out east for his nephew's first birthday and to finalize some things with his car, and he'll be flying back on January 12th, I believe he said he'll be back.
Yep, and I will probably be the one to go grab him.
Right on. So, yeah, like...
The narrowing down to exactly when I was gonna get here to pick him up was hilarious.
Yeah, it's like, I had to let you know that this was gonna... Huh?
Yeah, but we got him there on time and off he went.
Yeah, that's... I miss Mrs. DePudgy. I really do. I mean... I'm okay without anybody around. Doesn't bother me. I'm okay with having the house to myself.
Right.
But at the same time, having good company is always welcome.
Right.
That'll be fun.
But by the dice, I have become more and more of a shut-in. Oh my gosh. I come here and I go to my AA meetings.
I've always been kind of a shut-in, but I'm okay with it. I mean, come over more often. I mean, shit, if you ain't busy in the mornings. And I'm not really that much of a shut-in all the time. I do go out and do stuff, and yeah, Peter's coming over tonight for me to like cut his hair and hang out for a bit. Got Leo's number this morning, so I'll be able to hang out with him outside of like whenever I go over to hang out with Peter's, which is cool. And keep in touch with him and text him and see how he's doing.
I made the grievous mistake of washing my hair.
Ha ha.
It was oily enough that I finally washed it, and it went poof.
Ah, so now you is Afro.
Yes. If I don't brush it 4 or 5 times a day, it ends up doing this number.
Oh, that's awesome.
I have exactly one ethnic family member that I can trace anywhere.
That doesn't mean anything.
And apparently, I got her hair.
Or it could be that you're Irish.
Well, from what I can tell, my hair is actually coarser and curlier than everyone else in my particular branch of the family.
Well, I would point out that because you're Southern Irish, i.e. dark Irish, there's Greek in there. And with Greek, that's not even a problem. That happens.
But, you know...
They oiled their hair and combed it the same way that the Chinese did for...
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, it helped keep the damn bugs out because they couldn't live in something that suffocated them. And secondly, it kept their hair straight. And silky.
Yeesh. Actually, the branch that I refer to as the ethnic hair in my family is Greek.
See, so...
Yeah. I was doomed from the get-go to have curly, fluffy hair.
Well, the irony is that I got that nice perfect wave. Yeah, like, as far as the foodies in space is also...
Back to Castrovel.
Yep. Did they miss us?
No.
Aw.
No, they did not miss you, but they are glad you're here.
Oh, you're back. Good, we think.
Yup. Nah, when you guys decided to commandeer the ship and just nope the fuck out, a large chunk of storyline was left on Castrovel with it. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to give them as much play as I can eke out on the current standing of Ahsoka's corpse, and then I'm going to give them something to get them back to Castrovel.
Which wasn't a problem.
No. And it's fun, you know, my players wanted to go play on Ahsoka's corpse for a while, so I came up with some encounters and some storyline over there.
Not to mention, let's face it, it's our property. We should probably check it out.
Uh-huh. And Meridian is feeling a little temperamental about not getting to get off the rock.
Yeah, well, we kind of needed her there.
Yeah, she likes being needed. more than she likes traveling, so it wasn't a hard argument.
No, it wasn't, and it worked well. It's like, we don't need your muscle for this. We have muscle of our own, plenty of it. We do need somebody to make sure that these fuckwads don't screw shit up.
Right?
Or go hunting moon dragons anymore.
Yeah. Leave the lunar dragons alone.
Yeah. We still haven't hit 100 subscribers. So I'm not really, or actually, I will totally release the full stat block on that thing the second that we get 500 subscribers.
Yep. Meridian's stat block is coming out when we hit 100. She has a whole character sheet.
That dragon's got a 3-page dissertation in type. It is of the legendary variety. They tend to be big.
Funny is, Meridian was originally drawn up as a backup character if we died at level 20. No, but then I was like, she doesn't deserve. She's magnificent. She doesn't deserve to just like sit in the box of maybe someday characters.
Especially now when it's maybe someday I'll get her killed on Noxotalia.
Right.
I'm actually really hoping that you guys don't die.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to actively try not to kill you, so.
Yeah. No, don't. Kalora can handle herself well enough.
Yeah, and I actually like Clara.
I like her too.
I don't like wasting lives.
And
I'd like to think that that's what would make me a decent god if I ever ended up having one of, or if I ascend to being able to create my own version of the universe and the multiverse. I figure that's basically what happens.
mm,
I'd like to think that I wouldn't let people needlessly die for nothing.
and Kalora is not going to step in front of any bullets.
Thank God.
At least not in the traditional human-y sense.
She's not trying to fucking eat bullets here.
No. She knows she can soak a lot more firepower than her compatriots.
Oh yeah, easily. The armor class alone should do it.
Yep.
Ah.
Which is back up to 20.
Yeah.
She took her time.
Yeah. The fact is that her armor class is probably better without armor now.
Not quite yet. She hasn't gotten the level 3 boons for Barbarian.
Ah, yeah.
Which she will be going Path of the Storm Herald.
See? Now there you go. Trying to make it all complicated and magic-y and shit.
I like the strength and dexterity boosts for the Path of the Storm Herald for her.
Ah, that makes perfect sense.
And since I happen to be working with a DM who doesn't hold the Cap 20 law as biblical, I'm willing to play with it some.
Yeah, the Cap 20 law is not biblical. It's a math problem. If you can break down the algorithm of the math problem and figure out what you need in order for the next level, great.
Yep. Just like me. I'm like, make it make sense.
Yep. Because there are actual ways to make it so that your the maximum a stat can be goes up.
Mm-hmm.
So, above 20.
Yep. So yeah, when she hits her 3rd level, which she's gonna be back in one level this, one level that, with between Battle Master and Storm Herald Barbarian. Because she needs her level 7 benefits for her Battle Master next.
I haven't even looked at what those are.
It's an extra attack.
Oh, great.
Which means she can hit twice and then action surge. Or hit 3 times and then action surge.
There's the even scarier thing. You can action surge and reckless attack them.
Yeah.
If you're raging.
Yep. So that's kind of where her build is going. Wanted to get her to get comfortable with fire.
I want to make a barbunk. Like, straight out, hardcore, like, a strictly martial monks class.
Mm-hmm.
Not using any of the cool magic things, but just like stunning fist, etc. You know, standard bare bones martial artist monk.
Mm-hmm.
With about 7 levels of barbarian in it.
Nice.
Now you get your constitution bonus, your dex bonus, and your wisdom bonus to your armor class.
Nice.
Oh, and flurry of blows enraged and reckless. With improved criticals. This is why I shouldn't be allowed to be a player at people's tables.
See, I like having you as a player at my table because you enrich a lot of the gameplay.
I don't try and just blow it all away if I want to. I've proven I can.
Mm-hmm.
It's just no fun if you don't do it with friends. Accomplices make the deed worthwhile.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Did you ever finish printing off the Strahd material?
No, because I ran out of ink. But I've got half the book.
Is it enough for me to start moving it?
No, that book, very well written that you need the whole thing.
In case somebody decides to just skip to the end.
But if I'm going to spend $80, whether it be on printing materials or on other stuff, I'm just going to find a hard copy of the book and buy it.
Fair. Spamazon.
Yeah,
Hashtag not sponsored.
right?
Hence spam. Because everybody knows that spam is just a food. Any kind of canned ham, we all call it spam.
You know, the only time I've ever actually enjoyed Spam was when I was pregnant with my son.
Actually, I like it fried with eggs on a sandwich. Another way that it's really good is if you like take some sushi rice and make a spam roll
Yeah,
with sriracha down it.
I didn't like it all growing up. I'd had a couple opportunities to eat it, and then one day I was cutting it up for my then partner and I's dog, because the Spam was the dog food in my house.
That poor dog.
Well, it wasn't the only dog food. That dog ate a delightful variety of foods.
Yeah, it's just the sodium content.
Yeah,
That's why I say that poor dog.
he loved it.
Yeah. Probably drank like a dromedary camel afterwards, too.
Yeah, but he also always had access to the water for it, so. But, I licked my fingers and was like, oh, that's actually kind of yummy. And then after I was done being pregnant, I went back to,
See, I've found so many wonderful ways to eat all kinds of different foods. It's like, I really do need to find a way to order alligator nuggets. Like just alligator tail chunks.
Yeah, you can get alligator from, there's a meat market in Springfield over by the bus station.
Cool, that'll help. I want to turn it into a curry.
Nice. And
That
they
way
have
I
all
can
sorts
make
of
you guys a
exotic
nice
meats.
that way I can make you guys a nice basilisk curry for Heroes Feast one night.
Nice. Yeah, that's where I get my rabbits. You can get bison there.
Well, it's farmed these days, so.
Yeah,
And the way we used to do it, that was just mean.
right. I am all down with eating just about anything if it's farmed meat.
I really want to make a roast leg of lamb. Like a nice lamb shank and roast it my way.
Yes.
The last one I had scared me. It was done. It was done. It was done.
Yeah, it was done. God, there's things I want to make. Castrovel, in my imagining of it, has a couple of fruit-based dishes that I really, really want to try to recreate. That are absolutely desserts in our world, but are considered main dishes there.
Like a sorbet?
Uh-huh.
Well, if it's a really, really heady sorbet, like if you did like an avocado strawberry sorbet, that would be a meal.
Yeah, like,
Well, it's a complete protein plus vegetables, so, and starches at that point, so
they have an insect that grows on Castrovel that eats exclusively like this 3 or 4 types of berry, and it's taken on their flavor. So it's like this fruit-based insect delicacy thing that I could totally make happen with some cake, some fruit jam, and some cracked sugar.
Is that kind of like the cut live coconut worm thingy that tastes like custard?
Yeah.
There's some things in Vietnam that would make Americans cringe,
I know.
and they all taste delicious.
I know.
And you can't serve any of them in the United States.
Nope. Yay for growing up cultured.
Like fungus.
Yeah, my family likes to put itself in places it doesn't belong and spread like weeds.
Or spread like mold. Go to sleep, wake up next morning, there it is.
Oh, hey, there's a T-Walt in our garden!
Whoops! How'd that get there? I don't know, pull it out. Too late.
Too late, it's propagated.
Burn the ground and salt the earth.
Right. Don't let those grow here.
Well, how will we get the garden back to usual? After we're sure it's dead for a season, we'll come back in and we'll refertilize and reconstitute the soil.
Right.
Plus, the winter rains will actually help flush out the salt.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. No, I spent a good portion of my teenage years traveling and eating foods in strange and wonderful places.
I spent the majority of my 20s and part of my 30s doing that. You know what's really nice about doing that through the majority of your 20s and 30s? You're old enough to do all the things in all the places.
I would believe that. I would believe that.
Do you know what the worst part about it is? You're old enough to do all the things in all the places.
Yeah.
And if you do not understand what moderation is, you're fucked.
Oh, I've eaten some really good food in some really interesting places. Though to this day, my favorite meal I've ever been invited to happened in New Orleans.
My favorite, happened across it meal that I've ever found was, 23, 24. I was in New York, Chinatown in New York. Wandering around places that anybody of my complexion should definitely not be wandering around. Following my nose because I had the munchies, being a stoned hippie.
Yep.
And I wandered across this little shop set into the back of a building in an alleyway. Way off of anything where anybody looked anything like I did. And it was awesome food. The fact that I got to watch him take the head off of my duck and pluck it while I was eating my hors d'oeuvre was cool too.
Yeah, mine, we had gone down to help with some hurricane cleanup, and we were working in poorer areas that weren't getting as much needed help. And I hate to say that the Creole family that invited us in, I couldn't understand a word they were saying other than sit and eat. But that is the best meal I have ever eaten.
Oh yeah.
It burned my face off, but I could taste everything around the heat, and it was just like, oh my god, this is good. And they had like 8 or 9 dishes on the table, and we just sat and ate.
Now, the good news is, if you eat like that for about a year, you gain a tolerance to the heat. You know, but up to that first 6 months, you just might want to take ice cubes with you to your potty till you get used to it.
Yeah, it turns out classic French lessons don't help you at all when someone's speaking Haitian Creole.
No, because it's a mixture of English, Spanish, French, and native, plus a little bit of like traditional African.
Yeah, it didn't help me one lick. But man, did we have a lovely dinner. I did register them laughing at my little tray of cookies that I had made in the little oven in my RV. It was a nice little tray of cookies. They were well made. I am a good baker and always have been. But they definitely got a giggle out of little tray of cookies. Huge offerings on every other dish.
Well, they realized you lived in an RV at least.
Yeah, no, they weren't offended. They just got a, oh my god, it's adorable moment.
It's like, oh darling, bless your heart, and not in the negative way.
Yep, this is what I have. Because what we were doing, we were going into poorer neighborhoods throughout not just, New Orleans, but the whole area.
Yeah, all the way up.
All the way up, and we were plugging in our generator to all of our cookware, and we were serving people food who were still cleaning up after the disaster.
Yeah.
And that led to us being invited into more than one home to eat dinner.
Yeah, by the way, very interesting fact. Even poor Creole families, we might not have much, but we eats good, honey.
Right? Yeah, no. I had enough sense about me that when I was invited to dinner after all day feeding people, they want to feed you back. Just say yes. Say yes and go eat.
They had time to make dinner because you made it so that they didn't have to stop long enough to make lunch. So they got more done, and they're saying thank you.
Exactly.
And everybody eats. Gee, that was complicated.
Right? It was so hard. So hard. So hard.
Lo
I'd
and
go do
behold,
it
you
again.
didn't even have to understand what you were saying to get the deal.
Yeah, no, we did not have to verbally understand each other to understand what each other were after. And that's one of the things I like about Americans' mixed bag of cultures. Is if you find the little places where the cultures run into each other naturally, you find the fact that people can and have always found a way to get along.
Except for Nazis. Fuck those guys.
Yeah, no, not those guys. Not those guys.
Nazis, fascists, bigots, racists. Yeah, fuck those guys.
Yeah. I'm more talking about where the cultural lines.
Oh, shit, we're live.
Yeah. But I'm talking more about where the cultural lines, especially only speaking from my experience, because most of my experience of this has been in America, where those cultural lines bump into each other naturally.
Oh. Yeah. Being American and going a large number of places in Southeast Asia, they think all kinds of weird things about us.
Yeah. I mean, we have it coming.
I don't. I didn't do none of that.
Right? I don't. Because normally when I enter somebody's house for the first time, whether it's their house or just their neighborhood, I've got this face on. Hi.
I'm a shut-in, so, yeah.
I enter people's lives with we're going to sit nicely and not touch anything until we're told we can mentality.
No, I'm the person who'll be your neighbor, and, I'll have too much out of my garden, indoor or outdoor. And I'll be like, hey, do you like tomatoes?
Right. Take tomatoes, because my plants
Exploded.
They did much more than they were asked to do this year.
Again. Do you like asparagus, broccoli, kale, Swiss chard? I still can't get rid of the Swiss chard. I'm just gonna grow some. I give up. I acquiesce.
Oh, when you harvest it, let me have some. I love Swiss chard.
You don't understand. Leaves. And they're still white on the bottom. Swiss chard.
Swiss chard that could be used for veggie wraps.
Swiss chard that can be used to make lemkis. And for anybody who doesn't know, lemkis are a traditional Polish food where what you do is you take it would traditionally be like pork, lamb, whatever scraps of meat you had, you grind it up into a ground meat, you mix it with barley because they didn't have rice in Poland, and the barley is cooked before you make this into a dough. You put it inside of a traditionally cabbage leaf, though the Swiss chard would be nice, with salt, pepper, garlic, a little bit of vinegar drizzled over the top, and then you use a basic sweet tomato paste with no sugar added and 2 cans of tomato sauce, and you bake it like that for like 2.5 hours at 375. And you pin the leaves shut with toothpicks, and this is what I grew up thinking pigs in a blanket were until I went to fucking elementary school and they disillusioned me to the bullshit that is they told me pigs in a blanket, that's what my grandmother had always called them because she used ground pork.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's not what they are here.
No, it's not what they are anywhere in the United States. Do you know what they are here in the United States? A stupid piece of sawdust-riddled, partially human and mealworm ground up puree of, I think this tried to be a pate once, stuffed into a piece of biscuit dough and baked like that. If you're lucky, they add cheese.
Yeah, my grandma, our pigs in the blanket were mini sausages that she made herself, wrapped up in croissant dough and baked.
Yeah, fuck that.
Which I always loved growing up because, well,
School's what introduced me to that garbage, and you know how they did it? Hot dog and a fucking biscuit.
ew. Ew, no. Ugh.
It's like, I looked them dead in the face and said, that's not pigs in a blanket, and I got in trouble. They got into a big argument with me over what pigs in a blanket was, and what I described was far healthier anyway. Like, seriously, yes, we are talking about fatty ground meats, but at the same time, we're talking about barley, which is a healthier grain.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about wrapping it up in a vegetable, putting a high vitamin C, other or fruit across it, seasoning it with basil and thyme and all the things that make it so that it's a traditional marinara, basically,
Mm-hmm.
which is common across Europe. It's just called marinara because Italians did it better. Just like the French do things with an egg that you have no clue.
French do things with eggs that are just...
But if you want to know how to cook fish, anywhere in the
Mediterranean?
Southeast.
Southeast.
South Pacific.
Yeah. Mediterranean's got it down pretty well, too.
Yeah, but less variety.
Yeah.
If it swims and it's possible to eat it without dying, there's somewhere in the South Pacific that you can find a recipe for it.
Yeah.
Including some things that are now illegal to make. But yeah, see, I was real disappointed about that one.
There is a recipe in one of my older relatives' journals that I have that is written in old, like, haptic. And it describes the process of turning a fish into pasta for a stew, basically. With the way you fillet it and roast it. And I've made it and it is really yummy.
Yeah. I'd like to see that recipe.
I'd like to make it again.
I just want the recipe. I can make it. Especially the parts where it says to taste.
Yeah, it's all to taste. I mean, every recipe out of this particular relative's journal has things like leave it in the oven until the air outside turns cold. Start this recipe at the heat of the day, put it in the oven on a low fire, and leave it there until the air outside turns cold.
So set the oven on 250 and leave it in there until...
Evening.
Yeah.
But like, when I first read those kinds of instructions, I'm like, okay, start this recipe at the heat of the day. Go look up what the heat of the day is going to be. Okay, where's the high point for the temperature today? There. Okay, I need to, there's my timer. Okay, this is where the air is going to be cold.
So how many hours do I need to cook this for?
Right. And it turns out that that particular measurement is usually fairly standard throughout the year. The period from the heat of the day to the chill of the day
Yeah, that makes sense.
is fairly standard throughout the year. It's just that set tends to do this all year long.
As to when it's done, yeah.
Yep, but yeah, the first time I read those instructions, like one of them literally says cook it until it's unrecognizably ugly. I just...
Did you try the recipe?
I did, and it was delicious. It was the stuff
But-
called Yamista.
And let me guess, there was a point where you cooked it and it got unrecognizably ugly.
Yes, what you do is you it's stuffed bell peppers and tomatoes. You stuff both bell peppers and tomatoes, and you put them in a dish so people can have their pick of which stuffed fruit or vegetable they wish to have. And then you shuck it in an oven on medium fire, so around 300, and you leave it there until the outside is so burnt that you can't tell which is a tomato and which is a bell pepper.
That's making it like Russian roulette as to which one you're eating.
Mm-hmm. And then you pull it out, it's black, it's ugly, it's delicious.
See?
Like, my future cookbook is going to be written in that kind of language. I'm going to take the time to figure out exactly what times of day you should start making foods like these so that my instructions can be put it in at a warm temperature and leave it there until you can't recognize it.
That could go terribly for some people.
Right.
But at the same time, with the rate society's going at, illiteracy being on a rise and all that, yeah, we need more D&D players in the world.
Right.
Anybody who's willing to read textbooks just to play a game totally deserves it.
Right. But no, like the measurements in these recipes are things like enough minced tomato to fill up the palm of your hand, but no more.
Okay, so about a third of a cup.
Yeah, about a third of a cup. But I have taken to doing it exactly the way it says in the recipe because it turns out so much better. Oh my gosh. When I tried to guess at the measurements and try to make it fit, like the way I'd been taught to cook growing up, it didn't work. But when I did it exactly the way the recipe said, it came out so mouth-wateringly good.
Yeah. That's the other thing I'm working on doing as far as you guys' game goes, believe it or not, is making it so that the instructions you're given, no matter whether or not the modern mentality would make sense, the instructions you're given will work. Anything else won't.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Like, the answer to that door, it has been long enough that I'll just let you all know. Poke it in the belly button and stick your fingers up its nose.
That's funny. That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
I love it.
Everybody's all like, what do we do? Poke it in the belly button and stick your fingers up its nose.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Poking it in the belly button would have opened up 2 portals on the nostrils. And if you stick your fingers up its nose, there are 2 independent switches.
Doors are terrible things.
Nobody got the 25 on the investigation to get where that button was. And the one person who didn't try, well, they broke it. I think it's like, I mean, I could have given you guys all kinds of complicated, you must stroke the scales this way, or all that other crap, or trace these runes, or say this shit, or do the hokey pokey, for Christ's sake.
Uh-huh.
No. Poke it in the belly button, stick your fingers up its nose.
Mm-hmm. Like, my favorite puzzles are always go-no-goes.
Oh, wow. The way I look at it, it would be a door that would be designed in such a manner that nobody would ever think to have it happen. It's like, no way somebody would make that be how you unlock this thing.
Like, my favorite puzzle so far was the room with the countdown.
Oh, yeah.
The do-nothing countdown.
What are you guys gonna do? You shut up, Paul.
What are we gonna do? Hit the button. Starts over. You can easily starve a party to death in a room like that.
Yeah. How do you keep an idiot entertained for hours? They'd start taking points in exhaustion and end up dying of lack of sleep from somebody having to be up to push the button every time.
Uh-huh. My murder hobos figured that out the hard way. Yes, the murder hobos died in that room. For fear of letting the button go unpushed. On a puzzle that should have only lasted 30 seconds.
Well, it took us about 5 minutes of gameplay, about
Mm.
30 seconds of actual, game time.
Yep.
We tried everything else.
Uh-huh.
We tried pushing the button, the timer reset, and all those. Oh, hell no. We sat there and thought about it because we pushed it a couple times to make sure, and we're all sitting there going,
Alright. This is either gonna be good or it's gonna be terrible.
You know
Stairs
what?
just send
I am
everything
not
fine.
going to stay here poking a button forever. That is not my existence. It will not happen. No. Either kill me now or let me go.
Oh, and the answer was the stairs descend and the doors open, everything's fine.
And the gods are no longer laughing. Because you go, just kill me now or be threatening. I might not live through this, but
Reduce it. God, was it Chris's character or ghosts that I reduced to 0 intelligence?
both.
That's right. Had them both sitting on their butts. Brrr. Intellect devourers, which got totally nerfed in Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't know. On tactical, there are ones that will zap you.
Yeah. Zap you? Like drop you to 0 intelligence and have you...
They do daze you for a second. You do have to save.
Nice.
They nerf them down for the normal mode because they're actually a CR6 creature. You're level 1. See, the problem is they nerf too much shit.
Like, that owlbear should not have been as easy as it was.
The way I do it, yeah.
There's a couple creatures in Baldur's Gate that should have been way harder.
A group of bugbears should not be less of a challenge than a fucking owlbear. Or should not be more of a challenge than an owlbear.
Right? Did you find the bugbear in the barn?
Oh, you mean the one that's doing the ogre? Yeah, did you know that they both run off and do not go back to their posts if you interrupt them?
I did not know that.
Seriously, the next time you go through there, interrupt them. Like, open the door, be all intimidating, make fun of his wee willy winky.
I interrupted them and got into a fight.
I interrupted them and made them run away on one.
That's great. Astarion really likes it when you make fun of them and pick fights with them.
Yeah, he likes it even more when you embarrass them so much that they run away.
The other thing I like but dislike about Baldur's Gate is that it is easier to accidentally romance a character than it is to play an ace character.
Yeah. It's like they're all trying to jump your bones for power in the first bloody place.
Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, no.
I'm not into people like that. I'm not into people and I don't want people into me. Oh, but come on now. No. Just no.
Yep.
The problem is Lae'zel doesn't take no for an answer.
Lae'zel is a lot.
Yeah.
Lae'zel is a lot, but like I think my favorite take on Lae'zel, having played Githyanki and worked with Githyanki as part of my world building and understanding their culture, she literally was given the one kidnapped by the worst monster her culture faces, given a death sentence to the worst death you can die in her culture, and then decided to break all the rules by inviting non-Githyanki travelers to the creche to be purified. She's fucking terrified! She is scared out of her wits and still making decisions that benefit you. Which is why when she finally lost her mind and brought her blade to my throat, I just ended it for her. My point of view on things is if you would put a dog down for being in less pain, why should humans have to suffer?
Yeah. I mean, it's not even cannibalism if they're not the same race as you.
Right? Unfortunately, it just leaves her body rotting in camp. You can't do anything with it. Yeah, her corpse just stays there at her camp the rest of the game.
Even when you move camp.
Mm-hmm. It's just always there. Her tent is always set up and her body is right in front of it. The pool of blood goes with it.
I'm trying to figure out how the fuck that would work. I mean,
if camp was a pocket dimension that stayed the same no matter where you were, then that'd be one thing, but camp very obviously changes depending on where you are.
yeah.
So it's like, why is Lae'zel's body here?
Well, you know, we haven't found that taxidermist yet, so we can't strip out the bones, keep the skin, and...
Right.
But we can do this.
Yep. No, my go-to when she finally loses her mind and decides she's gonna attack her party is just, I'm gonna intelligence try this and see if I can't convince you to hand me your own blade, because you can kill her with her own blade without having to get into an initiative. If you roll high enough on your persuasion, she will hand you her blade and ask you to make it quick. Because she is that scared of becoming a mind flayer. And that was where I went with it. It was like, okay, nope, I'm having mercy on the Githyanki.
I get that. I mean, I do.
Uh-huh. But then again, I have dealt with identity level paranoia before, so.
Yeah, my solution. I didn't kill her. She's pulled a knife on me more than once. If I had the option.
Right.
Just no. I mean, technically, at any given point, you can just use your attack button and hit one of your party members and kill them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I did learn the hard way that if you get Karlak in your party and then you side with Minthara, Karlak will leave your party. Immediately. If you help the goblins attack the druids, Karlak will immediately become completely incompatible with your party.
Makes sense, so you can't evil runner.
Well, you can, but you have to be real fucking picky which evil you go with.
Oh, so lawful evil.
Yep. Nothing that hurts tieflings.
Or neutral evil.
Yep. Like, she's very, very protective of other tieflings, and it's because the tieflings in the grove die every time you do anything that disrupts their way of life that she gets mad at you.
Makes sense. Oh my god. That one woman? I managed to go and clear out the goblins and shit, but she killed the little tiefling girl. So I'm on my way on one of my playthroughs. Now, I've actually saved the little girl before, so it is possible.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a coin toss. And your charisma score matters, and your persuasion is key as to which character is talking to her at the time.
Yep.
To be perfectly honest, though, I'm kind of interested to see what's going to happen with how Halson responded when he found out she was planning to kill a child. I'm wondering what he's going to do when I go rescue him and he finds out she killed a kid.
That's a curiosity too. You cannot fail to save the kid if you want to play a Oath of Vengeance paladin. If you plan on letting Halson deal with Kaga. It will break your oath. If you fail to save the kid, you have to immediately kill Kaga. Or your patron becomes very unhappy with you immediately. And it's 1,000 gold to fix it.
Well, now, these pockets ain't that deep, cuz. I mean, can you do an oath broken paladin?
Yeah, and the oath breaker patron will stay in your camp. Which, for Baldur's Gate, the Oathbreaker's patron is the very first paladin to break his oath.
Oh.
And he's your patron now. And he'll stay in camp in case you ever decide you want to restore your oath. Also, if you break your oath as a paladin, you cannot respec your character until you fix your oath. You can't go to the Withers and just become something else for 200 gold.
So you can't just turn into another class or anything.
Nope, you are an Oathbreaker until you fix it. But the Oathbreaker boons aren't that bad. I've got Saraheth on my main playthrough, running Oathbreaker.
Yeah, well, see, you done broke your paladin.
I did. I did.
You didn't save the little girl?
No, I attacked the tieflings that had Lae'zel.
Ouch.
After failing on a roll that would have diplomacied the whole thing. I didn't have an inspiration to burn to re-roll it.
Would you not want it? Ouch.
Yep. It was them or Lae'zel at that point, and I chose Lae'zel and attacked them, and then immediately afterwards, it's like, and you feel an emptiness in your soul, Paladin. And a couple nights later, you end up confronted with being an Oathbreaker. It's 1,000 gold to fix that.
I would point out how interesting it is that you can buy your way out of trouble with the church.
Right? Right. I mean,
Aren't we glad they don't? Oh wait, hold on. You can buy your way out of trouble with the law if you have enough money.
mm-hmm.
I've never had that kind of money, so.
I have, and it's bullshit. I probably would have gained a lot more wisdom on how the world works if money didn't make all of my family's problems go away.
Oof. Fair enough. But, it looks like we're not getting any questions tonight.
Not tonight, and we've been at it for about an hour and 15.
Yeah, so I say we go ahead and just wrap this up and say have a great night. Thank you for hanging out, watching. Remember, like, share, subscribe. And other than that,
Bye!